Peace, peace. Happy now. Now the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. And that's what we're speaking on. Being right now. Realizing that the importance is more so at being, who we authentically are right now in this moment. It's not about being nice and smiling in everybody's face. You know, uh, of course, just naturally, we're not the type of beings that just want to, harm somebody or be, hateful or hurtful to somebody for no reason. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, dealing with the heart's discernment, all beings out there, don't have our best interests at hand, and it's having that awareness of that, you know what I'm saying? Of course, we walk around and seeing, when we deal with people, it's seeing the light in people, it's seeing being judgmental, you're not trying to, that's another thing, not being judgmental towards nobody, everybody uh being in a different little light as they should be, you know what I'm saying? Until they feel the change otherwise. But, just speaking to, because I thought about how, like with meditation and, and eating healthy and all these different things, that's all factors that help. But for the most part, what I've seen on my experience is being in the moment. Like when you're fully accepting of the moment, like without resistance, without judgment, you know, like I think to them days when I did have like I ate that gumbo and I didn't feel like, oh man, I just ate meat. Oh my goodness. I hate myself, man. How could I go far backwards like that? You know what I'm saying? So and so don't ain't doing that on their spiritual growth. You know what I'm saying? For comparing yourself, and comparison cause yourself to be guilty or to judge yourself. Because you're judging yourself too in most cases in comparison to something else. You know, but it's like still being in the moment, still being able to tap into higher vibrations and higher energies. Even though I was doing that, you start to realize it's about your now, like being in the authentic vibration of yourself, what you really feel like doing right now in this moment. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll come times too, where meditation may not be for the moment, and like sometimes we may be meditating from a fearful place, like where it's subtly like, man, I'm, I'm trying all these other different things. No, let me just sit here and be quiet for, and which in most cases, meditation at least gonna help to the smallest degree, even if you're doing it and that's when you shouldn't be doing it. As far as like, say for instance the universe is asking for you to take like action, but like not meditative action, but like some type of other action, but you kind of ball up and go into a meditative state, you know that's not necessarily the best thing for you now. But because of the way meditation works, and when you're doing it properly, and clearing the mind, you will get some type of insight on what action to take still. But at the end of the day, it's like being in the moment, you know, is what you know in essence raise that vibration. So, as much as health food does help, as much as healthy food work, as much as crystals may help, as much as meditation may help and do its job. For the most part, it's be in the moment. But this where meditation is important, though, in the fact of clearing your mind, because another aspect, being now and not being and being your authentic self. You know, if you fall in line with that, being now, being the authentic self, and you know, being in a place where you're fully now without being in your thoughts. So, which, in essence, again, where the meditation would come into play, in that essence. But we get this idea that just like, oh, meditation, that's gonna raise my vibration. Well, if I meditate and constantly not taking action towards things that I should be taking action towards, you know, my vibration still gonna lower. Like, it's almost like how can I say? It's like putting the gas that should go in your car one week, and then another week or a couple of days, you putting some harmful, like you putting something that ain't even really like gas, that's harmful to your tank. And meaning that of course the meditation, you know, can help in essence, but the gas that you need for that moment in essence, like it's like going back and forth, you know what I'm saying? Like where, you eat a ham sandwich, but then you're eating vegan and doing your push-ups, and you eat a big ham sandwich and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Ham sandwich, but you're eating like unhealthy foods, and then you come back to the healthy. It's like back and forth, and that's the same thing that meditation without taking action. In essence, like you overly meditating, all the time. There's gonna be, of course, the meditation itself is gonna raise, your vibration, in essence, but you won't necessarily like it'll have a ceiling or a plateau to it. You won't like consistently or continuously raise your vibration from that essence once you let meditation become a thing that stops you from taking action. Because then, like, it, when it, at the deepness of it, you're gonna feel depressed because you know in your mind that, like, I'm not taking action and doing the things I love. Because, yeah, meditation help, but I don't really necessarily love meditating all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? So, indirectly, again, like, yes, meditation does raise your vibration, but if you're doing it and it's not in balance of, like, like what you want in the moment and what you feel that you should be doing, like where you meditate out of kind of like being scared because you don't know what else to do or some of that nature, it's still gonna have I ain't gonna say a lower vibrational effect, but again, it will be ineffective. Like where you realize, like for that moment, yep, my vibration raising, getting this clear spot, but then I'm back at square one of like, what decision to make. You know what I'm saying? Let's think about square one, like foundation, the making a decision, being grounded, focusing, discipline, that Saturn energy basically. But again, being authentic and true to ourselves, not having to walk around, we get this vibe for sure from what we see from church goers, and the people who recruit for different religions and churches, where they like, oh hey, we just want to come around with these brochures and this and that, and let me show you how things could be demonic and evil even with a smile on attached to it. I think about a situation I came across where these people like, oh yeah, man, we got this little this little church, this and that, we vibe or this and that, but I don't even think they came saying it up front. So picture that, like, all right, smiles, oh man, what you're doing, what you're interested in. Oh man, that's cool. And basically they fake they smile and fake their way into like, oh man, that's cool what you're doing. You want to talk? Like basically trying to slide in to talk to you to try to recruit you. But, and again, it's all smiles. And, have you ever heard of the, not to call people, but, because first that came up to my Latter-day Saints, but, to each his own on your little vibe. But, it's like, have you ever heard of this group or that. So long story short, though, I'm sitting down and it was like, well, hey, would you like to, to sit and have a blessing, like basically like in so many words, pray. Now I don't deal with prayer in that essence, but like the way it was presented, like, oh yeah, let's just pray in the sense of like what they was gonna pray, and of course I'm affirming as they're praying, but you know what I'm saying. But as they, like, and with me, like, I'm on some shit, and being in that open, because again, there's a balance with being open. You're not trying to be closed minded and close all kind of, any and all ideas out, but you definitely don't want to be open minded to being gullible. And I balanced it in that action, because here it is, I'm open minded. They talk about, saying a little blessing or whatever. I'm like, shit, I take a free man. I take a free blessing. Why would I turn down somebody bringing, sending some positive vibes to me? I'm all for that. So get ready. Then as they go to saying the little, saying the little prayers and stuff, they go to almost talking like, like, God, help this brethren to, you know, be more connected, or like in so many words. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm like, stop the prayers right there. I'm like, I thought y'all were just like, praying in general. But I'm like, nothing's wrong with me. I'm like, don't pray over me like something wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? Because like right there, when we talk about warships and worshiping and all that, you know what I'm saying? Spiritual warfare and the fact of just parasitic energies are energies that are just trying to, knock your soul alignment from out of balance, by instilling some little external ideas and things of this nature. And when you agree to that shit, you're agreeing to that energy, you know what I'm saying? To that what we may call and it's not demon like a demon, but that demonic force, that like a sorcerer energy, like an energy that's kind of like trying to force you to see things the way it sees things. You know what I'm saying? Influence you to be guided by its consciousness and not be guided by your own soul consciousness. Because when you look at what a cult is people following rules and regulations without questioning them. That's mostly what all religions do at this point. Like, it's becoming obvious that all religions, the way they hold themselves is like a cult. You know what I'm saying? Like worshiping certain people without even asking questions. Just like, oh, such and such, praise such and such. You know, but cause that's for me with Rastafari. Why I backed out of that little energy. It's like I respect and see it for what it is, but we ain't worshiping nobody. Look, it ain't nothing. Always realizing that. But in that moment, those people like, oh yeah, and pray that he see. I'm like, oh no, because if I'd have sat there and let them finish off that prayer, that's like admitting that, oh yeah, something wrong with me because I'm not dealing with spirituality the way they dealing with it, and that's farthest from the truth. And again, that how those energies move, got a smile on his face, like, yeah, the whole time, all they was trying to do is just trying to fucking get me to go to their church, and they genuinely didn't want to fuck with me. Because if they genuinely did, they would have accepted me and be like, oh yeah, I learned about them crystals and deal with what you talking about too. Like I learn and see what you got and what you dealing with. It wasn't that. It was like, oh, we just smiling and coming off as somebody that you would allow to step into your energy field, so we could, uh, try to make you fall for the banana in the tailpipe and, come with smiles and this and that, but we're really trying to recruit you for our religion. Like, that's not authentic. Think about that. Think about, the authenticity of energies. Think about when source, like, our higher self never, distorts messages, or, like, all messages from higher self come direct. Like on some, like, fuck that if that's your parent shit. Like, that energy they dealing with ain't what you need to be dealing with. It's very straightforward, you know what I'm saying? But again, being authentic and being now, and realizing, being in the moment without being judgmental, without uh without feeling like, oh, like when we go through certain things, certain aspects that seem a little harsh, again, it's the pressure to make a diamond. It's not anything to be, depressed, sad, or mad about. is realizing like, all right, this situation is showing me, you know, basically making me aware of a certain energy block or a certain, you know, energy that's holding me down, or something or a certain area where I'm being judgmental, whatever the case may be, you know, and it's not for me to be like looking at like, oh man, there's something bad that's happening to me. Oh man, things are always should be. Now, of course, as we get the ball rolling, we become more consciously aware. Yeah, things are always gonna for the most part, be on the up and up. Because another thing too, that's why I want to speak to. We move into a higher dimension. Things are gonna manifest on such a quicker level. So if you want to ask, like, if one may ask, like, why we, why the spiritual growth coming with us doing all these things, and like, why do I have to be so in alignment, and things of this nature? Well, I mean, put like this: you reap what you sow. We move into a higher dimension. What that means is that our thoughts are gonna be manifesting like this in our realm, you know what I'm saying? So, imagine if you're not having control, and then we get into a place where the egoic mind is becoming a little more harder to deal with, because it knows it's on the way out, so it's just fucking like, you know what I'm saying? So imagine imagine stepping into the fifth dimension, and all your little thoughts about, oh man, that's fucked up what happened to me when I was 12. Oh man, so and so ain't had to, like, like all those little negative thoughts that pop up, and for those of us either who's kind of still working on that stage, or those of us who just remember the old days of being in our, being in our minds, and how even without being in your mind, like just generally, like how your thought process was always just gonna pop up with some old negative shit, or just, something that probably, in most cases don't serve your soul. But if your thought process is constantly popping up like that, all this thought, the subconscious not just saying like, oh, all right, I'm not hearing that. Nah, that's why it's so important in essence with us, like talking to ourselves, of course, whether out loud or to yourself, because I don't fuck the crazy shit like this, man. If you gotta talk to yourself out loud, talk to yourself out loud. But again, the fifth dimension, things are moving so quickly, so all those little negative thoughts, all that shit is gonna come quickly to you, you know what I'm saying? And then you got to do the work just as much, because it's like, all right, damn, all this shit done just, and say for instance, you unconsciously manifest these things, and then when you still unconscious to the place of like, well, when these things come around and they are a manifestation of you, and you still in that consciousness of thinking, oh man, God must dislike me, where this come from, not realizing it's you, and you fall even into a deeper sleep, or unconsciousness, and then it just really brings you, it just gonna rapidly move on you like that. Because again, when we these vibrations raising to these higher dimensions, where the 3D realm, you could do or say something or think about something, and it could possibly be a week or two before that situation really shows itself to you, or a week or two before you could become consciously aware of it showing itself to you. You know what I'm saying? But it moved on a slower vibe, so we were able to, like, learn, like, all right, learn about spirituality, kind of take your time, because the energy wasn't moving on that level. Well, now the energy is moving a little quicker, so we reaping what we sow, like in a matter of seconds. And I already spoke of how the egoic mind is like a disease. Like, I done been in situations where, like, say for instance, where you're consciously aware of not trying to go back to your ego. Like, all of us on our spiritual growth right now, know that, hey, we're not trying to be in our egoic mind. We're trying to be in a state of alignment with higher self. We're not trying to have all this thought noise. But the moment, we either eat some unhealthy food, or go in an unhealthy environment for too long, things that stems from that nature, though a negative thought just come, almost involuntarily, in essence, out of nowhere, like bam, you know, because say, friends, no matter how much meditation, whatever you do, if you walk into a old jail cell or something, you know, where a lot of shit went down, you're going to catch thoughts of what went down in that area, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, with that being said, you know, you want to make sure, you know, my energy field is not in just any little places, you know what I'm saying? Because that energy comes with, you know, a certain places have a certain energy signature that come with it, you know, or whether it's just a place like that or a place where certain people actively being negative, whatever the case may be. But you know, gotta spark these negative thoughts in you on a level that's uncontrollable, where you're not sitting there like trying to be negative. It's just like a bloop, like all of a sudden you just be like, boy, somebody came up to me, but I punch them in the face. Like, well, yeah, where'd that come from? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't nowhere near that, and I've been meditating and doing my thing, you know. And I spoke on that in a lot of videos of like how, you know, seeing how the egoic mind, you know, is like a disease, and you gotta clear yourself of that disease, or it's gonna constantly try to plague you, you know. And with us moving into these higher dimensions, you know, again with it knowing that it's on its way out, you know, it's kind of kicking and screaming, you know what I'm saying? Like on some vibes to try to survive, you know. Because think about it, just as above, so below. Like just like the media, the oppressing energies, you know, that they are that thought egoic mind realm that's just like just trying to pitch a fit and get you to focus on it to stop you from focusing on your alignment and dealing with your own energy, you know what I'm saying? Because again, we're moving into these higher dimensions, and you don't want to just have all this, you know, these negative thoughts and all these things. We all on different growths, so different strokes for different folks, you know, as far as how fast, you know, they're growing and realizing these situations. But you know, it's sink or swim regardless, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, either learn how to you know, get out of your mind, get out of all of your thoughts, and be in alignment with, you know, your inner source, or suffer the consequences from not being it, you know what I'm saying? But you definitely got presented a choice, you know, because so many people then came across, you know, whether it's one of my posts on Instagram, or you know, or either heard that I had a YouTube channel. And I'm just speaking for the people that's, say, for instance, around me or whatever, you know, like where, you know, like certain people that again may still be living their lives in this insanity, but you know, they done had source done move through people in certain situations to say, hey, you know, Dr. Sebi, you know, hey, this or that, you know what I'm saying? Hey, crystals, you know what I'm saying? Hey, meditation, hey, being in the moment, being in the now, you know what I'm saying? Like this done knocked on certain people door, and they didn't, you know, like didn't answer the door, and probably come back peeping later like, you know, I wonder who that was or what they was going to be talking about. But you know, again, with us moving into this these higher dimensions, we gotta be more consciously aware and focus with our energy. You know what I'm saying? What we focusing on, it grows. It grows in a matter of seconds. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why it's becoming so important for us to, you know, just be healthier about our energy field in general, you know, and healthy not just about food, just consumption on all levels, you know, being healthier. And speaking of consumption, also remembering and realizing too, you know, maintaining our own energy field. Of course, it's cool to check out a Universal Frequencies video with Infinite Waters, a Dolo, the Flight Boss, you know, Brother Rich, or you know, Barbara Goldsmith, and you know, it's cool to watch all these different videos, but you know, you want to make sure you're watching it from a place of, you know, this is this person's perspective. Even, you know, even if of course you get that it is some truth that they're saying, that, you know, of course, like, well, you know, some people speak in undeniable truth, you know, like well, no matter if it's coming from me or so and so is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like some things are in that mind, but just realizing not to get lost in the sauce of, you know, somebody else presenting information, whether it's a book, a video, or whatever the case may be. You know, because sometimes you know, we learn from our own experience. Now, of course, we pick up on certain information, you know, without necessarily having experience. And of course, our inner source and soul could be like, hey, this is some very accurate information. But, you know, the knowing really truly comes to us, you know, dealing with certain aspects of, you know, through experience, you know. Now, of course, again, there's an asterisk there because there is a level, you know, some of us are very you know, highly intuitive. Well, we could know that certain information is accurate even though we didn't come up with it, and more so indirectly though you still did, because I feel like, you know, some of us are connected on levels where as long as we truly get when our high self is speaking to us, then you're in alignment with it, whether, you know, our high self speak to us through us or you catch it from externally, you know, where you get how high self is speaking, you know, through somebody else energy, like making you aware, like, all right, you know, run it like this, you know, as far as like, well, you might not always hear the voice in your head, but you know, you get the gist of the information from some avenue, you know, and you could feel like it being in alignment with higher self. But even still, you know, again, you know, we not want to be in alignment with being our true, unique, soulful selves, you know, and not embodying other people's, you know, perspectives. Like, you know, we gotta gain our own perspective and experience. You know, I think about like how my brethren, you know, shout out to my brethren Brad. Like when he heard, you know, I was going to Cali, he could have, like he told me, it's like I could have been like, you know, what? Oh yeah, man, check this spot out. I used to be here. I used to be there. This and that. But then he caught himself and was like, you know what? I gotta let that brethren just, you know, see, you know, see it for itself. You know, vibe for itself. Cause that's the thing too. You know, what people, you know, that's why I get to the point when people ask me like about Cali, you know, I'm like, bro, you know, you kind of just have to see it for yourself. You know, it's a different experience, you know, and that's why I usually say it's a different experience, and I'm like, you know, there's pros and cons no matter where you go, you know, but it's all off of your own experience, you know, because say for instance, like with me, you know, dealing with cry yoga, you know, like the book spoke on the situation and how to deal with it, but I had to deal with it to see if it really worked, and not just like, oh, cry yoga, this and that, and then not really do it and just take their word for it. You know, like, nah, I actually did it. And to the point too, on the flip side, where some people come talking about, oh, fuck yoga, fuck this and that, or I don't do that, this and that. And I realized, well, hey, they speaking from their perspective and they little realm of reality, because I done dealt with this and it done work for me, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, again, being in alignment with who you truly are, you know what I'm saying? Because some person who you may truly admire, you may have to, you know, recognize that you don't agree with, you know, a few things or a lot of things that they may speak on, and that's healthy. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're not down here to be like, oh yeah, I agree with everything you saying. Oh, I agree with everything you saying. I agree with everything you saying. I agree with everything you saying. And it's like, what the point of individuality is if we all, you know, being the same being. You know what I'm saying? For we could have put less bodies and just put embodied all those souls in just one person if they all gonna fucking walk, talk, act, and, you know, be the same. You know. But again, you know, being in the moment. You know, check out my video about surrender. You know, surrendering to the universe. I just recently did, but you know, surrender meaning, you know, the moment it in the moment it is what it is, as far as like you know, certain things we're going through, you know, and not saying there's always, you know, something that we might not want to be going through, you know, whatever it is, you know, and you always have to, and when I say have to, put it like this: when a moment presents itself to you, there's nothing you could do to change it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is at that point. You know what I'm saying? And it's accepting what is in that moment. And if what the moment is something that that you don't want to deal with, then again, you accept what is, and then from that moment though, you take action and do what it takes to get you from that place, so your now could be in a place that's more beneficial, more blissful, more favorable for your energy. You know what I'm saying? But again, be now. You know what I'm saying? Be in the moment. The only thing that exists is the moment, not your thoughts about what happened to so and so the other day, or how I fucked up when I made this beat yesterday. I fucked up and pressed the wrong button. I gotta go back. Like, you know what I'm saying? With it, like, you right now. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you could fix that past situation. You know, and right now, you could create your future, so you don't have to be anxious about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but whenever you go to trying to overly be in the future, or you overly in the past, you're taking yourself out of your now. You know. And again, be authentic to yourself. It's not about trying to be nice. This is that picture painted by, spirituality. Because even with the Christ consciousness, like even in the story, the stories that they try to make into a historical figure with Jesus, like where he was in the little, I forgot where he was at though, in the little courtyard or whatever, and he flipping tables over, and like, man, y'all gotta stop it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so even from that story, even from your Bible story, Christ wasn't just sitting down and taking it with no Vaseline. You know, he was standing up and being his authentic self, and not being nice on some I'm just a rug for you to step over. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. But that's basically it. And remember, like, what's best for the moment. You know, like if meditation best for the moment, then let it be. But if meditation is not best for the moment, regardless if meditation does bring you to a cleared, centered state, and may raise the vibration. If you're not doing what you should be doing in the now, after you come out of meditation, you're still gonna be out of alignment and feel like something's missing, because you're not truly doing what you should be doing in the moment. You know, and that's back to our inner guidance. Like being strong. But be authentic. Be now. You know what I'm saying? That's where the alignment is, and making sure you're being true to your energy. You know, anything like, and even if it presents itself as nice and like, you know, like trying to give me a hug, brother, this and that, like, nah, like, like, don't let no other energy try to, because again, it comes nicely. And what's funny, when you start to read energy, you're gonna feel like watching a movie, because you're gonna feel the demonicness in, and again, not to like, demon, but just that energy of something that's trying to sway your consciousness, and get you to see it the way it sees things, and not allowing for you to be within your own energy. You know what I'm saying? Just like a Bible thumper, like, oh no, only Jesus, and my Bible this and Bible. That's a cult. That's a cult mentality. It's like, regardless of the logic reasoning of somebody bringing up that there were 16 crucified saviors before Jesus, and that Constantine, it's a fact that Constantine got together and tried to turn this energy into a historical figure. You got that logical reason, but yet people like, oh, no, but I ain't gonna. That's a cult. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. It is what it is. Hopefully those people could, I say hopefully, but I trust that the ones that's meant to make it out gonna make it out. The ones that's meant to stay gonna stay. But peace, peace. Happy now. Now's a vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Peace, peace.